Hello everyone. Guys, am I audible? Can I have a quick yes or no through the chat box? Okay. Hey, first of all, I'd like to welcome you all in our first session on AI course. Okay. I see few of the participants earlier said that I was not audible. So guys, we have not yet started. Okay. Let's wait for a few more minutes for other participants to join and then we will start. Okay. So we will start at 5:05. Uh, so before that, few guidelines. The entire session is going to be for 2 hours, and for say 1.5 hours, or say something around 1 hours and 45 minutes is where I'm going to be talking about what say the machine learning is all about. And last 15 or 20 minutes is what we have kept for the Q&A session. At the same time, we have kept all of you on mute. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can use say our YouTube channel live comment section, or say um if you have attended this session using Zoom, you can use the Zoom chat box to ask your question. At the same time, I will request all of you to turn off your video because we don't need video feed for this particular session. Okay, so these are the few basic guidelines. Yeah. Cool. So let's wait for a few more minutes and then we will start. Once again, humble request all of you kindly disable your video. Okay. So let's get started, everyone. Once again, uh, welcome everyone in today's session on Introduction to ML. As you know, in this course, we are going to be discussing multiple components of AI. So today is our first session where we will try to understand what data is, what machine learning, and what AI. Okay. Still, I see many participants with the video feed on. I request all of you to kindly disable your video. Okay. Okay. So yeah, let's get started. See, these days you would have heard a lot about data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, business analytics, data analytics, right? When we talk about all these things, the most important component of these entire, I'll say, data science, business analytics, data analytics, or ML or AI is data. Okay. So what we'll have to understand is, so first let's try to understand what data is. Okay. See, In simple terms, we can say individual unit of structured and unstructured entities. There are so many different channels where we are generating data, be it your Facebook, every time you say browse, when you are say scrolling through the different post, okay, when you are watching some news, when you are watching a cricket match, when you are doing some comment, when you are watching a video on YouTube, when you are say chatting with someone. These are the different instances where what we are doing is we are actually generating some data. Now, the moment you store this data as it is, without worrying too much about its structure or say what's the information present, okay, that is what we mean by data. So, individual unit of structured and unstructured entities. Say, for example, storing the hourly traffic data, okay. So, say in Bangalore, if there are few say junctions like Silkbo junction, and say the government decided to store CCTVs around it just to store the hourly traffic data, that's it, okay. So what do we mean by data? Data is nothing but individual unit. Am I audible, guys? Can I have a quick yes or no through the chat box? Am I audible, everyone? Okay, so I see few participants complaining about the audio. Guys, as you can see, I'm audible to most of the participants. So in case uh, if you have any difficulty in the audio, right, please check your internet connection, okay? Cool. So as I was saying, that say if we decide storing the hourly data, okay, storing this hourly traffic data, so this is just data, okay. But then now let's try to understand what information is. When you process the data, that is when we get information. Am I audible, guys? Gangaraju, please check your internet connection and make sure that your audio is connected properly, okay. Yeah, so I was saying processed data is what is information. Say for example, if we have storing, or say if we have stored this hourly traffic data, okay, basically processing this data, what we can do is we can generate frequency of different vehicles on an hourly basis. Means in an hour, what are the different types of vehicle which are say crossing a particular junction, right? So this is what is information. But then what is science, or say knowledge? Science or knowledge is all about extracting meaningful and actionable insight from information. That is what we call it science. So it's all about extracting actionable insight or information. Say for example, vehicle type causing traffic on peak hour. This is what, this is some actionable insight. Why? Because if you can identify the vehicles which are causing traffic say in during peak hours, then be it the traffic police or traffic organization or the government, what they can do is they can change the rules to handle such situations, okay. So basically, if we combine whatever we have discussed, data is what? Data is nothing but individual unit, what we store. Then comes information. Processed data is what is information. And science is what? Science is all about extracting actionable insight or information or knowledge from the data. Okay. So if we are clear about data, information, and science, we are ready to understand definition of data science. So data science is all about where what we try to do is given some data at scale, we try to extract actionable insight in an automated way. I'll repeat the definition once again. What is data science? Data science is all about extracting actionable insight, information, or knowledge from the data in an automated way. Okay. Now, be it data science, machine learning, AI, or say business analytics and data analytics, right? So they all are part of same domain, but then there is some uh, I'll say difference. Theoretically, there is a difference. But then say if we go by the industry use case and the way things are getting handled in the industry, what we can do is we can keep these three things in one bucket and say these two in the second bucket. The reason I have kept these in the same bucket is when it comes to data science, machine learning, or AI, mostly when it comes to from a practical perspective, they are more or less similar. Okay, and most of the applications around us are going to be about ML and AI. Okay, so in this course mostly we're going to be discussing the machine learning algorithm, and especially keeping say algorithms which are very important when it comes to the AI space. Okay. Now, as I said, data is what is at the core. So let's try to understand what are the different types of data. Once again, humble request everyone, please turn off your video feed. Thanks. Okay. So now whatever data is available around us, broadly, we can classify them into four types. Okay. Text data, audio data, image data, and video data. Okay. So what is text data? It's simple. Stores any kind of text data, and mostly we generate text data on say platforms like Amazon, where reviews are mostly going to be available in text form. Facebook comments, commercial chat bots. Okay, these are all what example where we are dealing with text data. Similarly, when it comes to audio, sound wave coded in digital form. This is what we mean by audio data, right? And say whenever you listen to some music on apps like Ghana or Spotify or Apple Music, or say telephonic conversation, or whenever you are listening to some speech or say podcast, all these things are what examples where we are dealing with audio data. Then comes image. Image is what? Nothing but pictorial representation of some entities. And say on platforms like Instagram, or whenever you try to buy a product online, you have say for all the products you can find multiple images in healthcare domain, x-rays, CT scans. There are so many other I'll say scans that we do in healthcare. And whenever we deal with Instagram or say product images on Amazon, what type of data we are dealing with? We are dealing with image data. Similarly, video is nothing but recording of moving visual images, right? So what happens is, say in a second, if you change your images in a particular say sequence, that is what creates video. Okay, and that is where we talk about FPS or frames per second, right? So platforms like news, whenever you're watching a digital news, then YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, all these things are what where we are say interacting with video data. Okay, so the key takeaway from this slide is that data is what is at the core of machine learning or AI. And when it comes to data, there are four different types of data that we can have: text data, audio data, image data, and video data. Okay, am I clear till this point, guys? A quick yes or no? Cool. Okay. Now, as I said, that definition of data science is what? Data science is where we try to extract actionable insight, information, or knowledge from data in an automated way, right? Similarly, now let me give you the definition of AI. The simplest definition of AI or artificial intelligence that we can think of is AI is a wing of computer science where we try to mimic the human intelligence. Okay, do not try to memorize these definitions. I'll always recommend to try to understand these definitions. we all know what human intelligence is, and here we are talking about artificial intelligence, right? So intelligence component is same. The only difference between human intelligence and artificial intelligence in terms of the word is human and artificial intelligence. So keeping that in mind, AI is what? A wing of computer science where we are trying to mimic the human intelligence. Okay, so let be the most or the simplest definition of AI, and very soon we will go into details of how exactly we can mimic the human. Actually, in this course, we are going to be discussing the algorithms, where you will realize that most of the algorithms, and one of the most important algorithm in AI space, is completely inspired by the way our human brain works. Okay. Now, if we are clear about the definition of AI, let's see what machine learning is. Okay. See, if we, and learning. Am I audible, guys? Am I audible? Okay, sorry, I got disconnected. Cool. So I was saying that let's try to understand this formal definition of machine learning. So machine learning is an application of artificial intelligence that provides system, or system here is nothing but say machine. Mr. Somes, can you please turn off your video? That provides system, machine, the ability to automatically learn and improve from experience. So experience is nothing but past data without being explicitly programmed. Okay. So the formal definition is machine learning is an application of artificial intelligence that provides system or machine the ability to automatically learn and improve from experience without being explicitly programmed. Okay. So if you find it difficult to understand this formal definition, just bear with me, where I will next what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain these components one by one, and then we will connect all the dots to understand this definition better. Is my screen visible, everyone? Okay. See, if we are, or Say if we talk about a problem statement where what we need to do is we need to predict property prices. Okay. Now say if we need to do this for Bengaluru, means we need to have a program which can predict property prices, which can be a rent also for all the flats which are available in Bengaluru. Now, say in order to do this task, how as a human being we are going to approach? Okay. Now, say in Bengaluru, you have thousands of different houses. Do you guys think it's feasible for a human team to go and survey each and every house? Is that feasible, guys? Yes or no? No, right? So instead, what we'll have to do is a human team in Bengaluru, okay, will select a sample. Say maybe 2000 houses is what the human team decided to survey in entire Bengaluru in different, say, pin codes, right? Now, say when it comes to property price, what are the important features you think which can impact the property price? Number of bedroom, okay? Then maybe number of balcony, then maybe area of the property, okay? Then maybe we can have how old is that building, okay? Then something like distance from nearest police station and distance from nearest shopping mall, say temperature, okay, and say owner's name. So the human team, what they will do is they will go and have a manual survey of 2000 houses where they will try to capture these many parameters. And at the same time, as we are trying to write a program to predict or estimate the property prices, they will also capture price or say rent of all these properties. Okay. So this is what, this is the activity which say a human team will perform in order to, like, before you start the programming part, right? Now let's talk about world without machine learning. Priyanka, can you please turn off your video? Now say if we need to write a program for this part is very important, guys. Okay, this is where I want your maximum attention. Okay. So now what we are trying to do is we are trying to write a program, or let's, in simple terms, we can say if we need to develop a software, which when given, say bedroom, balcony, area, age of the building, distance from nearest police station, distance from nearest shopping mall, and all the other features, we need to write a software which can predict the property price or property rent, right? So what we'll have to do, we'll have to go with a rule based system. Now what a rule based system will look like, it's like where in our software we'll have to write multiple conditions. Say for example, the first condition can be that if say number of bedroom is 3 and number of balcony is 2, then what's the say property price? Let's call it P1. Similarly, let's say the second rule is number of bedroom equal to 2 and area of the property is 400 and number of balcony is 0, then what's the price? Let's say this is the second condition. So let's call it the second price. Similarly, the third condition can be number of bedroom equal to 1 and area equal to 400 square feet, and say age of the building is 1, then what's the property price, right? So similarly, if we try to analyze the rule-based program, do you guys think it's feasible for a human team to write all the possible rules? Is it feasible? A quick yes or no? No, it's not feasible. Why? Because see, let's put in some mathematics here. Say if bedroom can take 5 different values, balcony can take 5 different values, area can take 100 different values, age can take 10 different values, distance from nearest police station can take, say, 5 different values, distance from near a shopping mall, say 10 different values. And anyway, as a human being, we can very well understand that temperature of a particular place or say owner's name is not something which is going to impact the property price or property rent. So what we can do is we can simply discard that, right? So even though if we have these many, say if all the parameters, if they can take these many values, in total we are talking about how many combinations? 5 into 5 into 100 into 10 into 5 into 10, and this in itself is what? A big number. Okay, and very well you can imagine that here we have not listed all the features which determines the property price, like amenities, right? Then say swimming pool and all the other factors. There are so many factors. So the key takeaway here is that we need to understand that there is a limitation to rule based system. Okay, am I clear till this point, guys? A quick yes or no? Yes, of course, limited values can. Cool. Now, let's say how machine learning is going to be helpful in this case. So the biggest problem here is deriving these many rules. But then this is where machine learning came into the picture. Guys, once again, please turn off your video. The second approach is ML way. Now in machine learning way, what did I say about the simplest definition of your uh, machine learning? I said that machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence where we try to enable machines with human level intelligence using some data. So in machine learning, say if we need to solve this problem using machine learning, so machine learning will require data. Okay. Mr. Gangaraju Tupati, can you please turn off your video and say Imran? Yeah. So when it comes to machine learning, what we need is data. And anyway, 2000 samples is what we have gathered here. And then based on the problem statement, what we can do is we'll have to specify some machine learning, say an appropriate machine learning algorithm, which we're going to discuss in this course, right? So the moment we pass on these two things, then the machine learning, first it will select all the features which are important when it comes to predicting property rise in an automated way. And that automated identification of features is done using this machine learning algorithm. So let's, as of now, let's treat these algorithms as a black box. But then what these algorithms can do, given these many features in the property price, these algorithms are sufficient enough to identify what are the features which are important. Say, for example, in the first step, model will, or say the machine learning algorithm will end up identifying that, okay, number of bedroom is important when it comes to property price. Number of balcony is important. Area is important. Age is important. Distance from nearest police station is important. Distance from nearest shopping mall is important. But then machine can in itself identify the temperature. Okay. Say features like temperature and owner's name. Owner's name is not at all important when it comes to property price or rent. Okay. And not only that, after identifying or extracting all the important features, in the second stage, machine can also very well understand that what is the relative importance of these features. Why? Because when it comes to property price or rent, we all will agree to the fact that all these features are not equally important. Say for example, number of bedroom and number of balcony and area when it comes to property price is more important than distance from nearest police station and distance from nearest shopping mall. See, algorithms can do these things also in an automated way. Relative importance of feature. So what's the advantage of this MLWay? No more you need to have, say, a complex process of identifying all the rules and then manually typing this. No, what we need to do, we simply need relevant data, and then using multiple algorithms, we can train a model which can perform all these tasks in an automated way. Okay. So here, as you can see, machine is learning itself. Okay. Now let me give you an example also to understand this. Say if I tell you that we have a data set with two columns, area and property price. Okay. Say if the area values are 200, 400, 800, 600, 1200 and 1000. Okay. And so the property price values are 4000 INR, then say 6000, okay, then say 8000, 7000, then something like 11,000, okay, and say 9,000, right? Now using this data, what we can do is let's plot this first. Say on x-axis we have area, and on the y-axis we have price. See on x-axis we have 200, 400, 600, 800, 1000 and 1200. And on y-axis, let's have the price. So values like 2000, 4000, 6000, 8000, 10,000, and say 12,000. So let's plot this using an scatter plot. So for 200, the price is 4,000, so somewhere here. Then for 400, it's 6,000. For 600, the price is somewhere around 7,000, so let's keep it here. Okay. For 800, it's 8,000. For 1,000, it's 9,000. And for 1,200, it's 11,000. Okay. So now say, given the data set and this plot, if I ask all of you that what you think, if we have a new property, okay, say if we have a new property where area is 700. Now, can you guys tell me, based on the data that we have, what can you estimate about property price of this? Everyone? My question is simple. Say based on this data set, if I ask you that we have a new property with area equal to 700 square feet. So what can we estimate about the property price? Okay, so most of you have answered it correctly. So basically what we can do is say, let's imagine that we have a line, so something like this. Okay, and then the moment we have a new property, say somewhere here 700, okay. And then we can say this is where property price of this new property can lie. Okay, or this is what we can estimate as property price of the new property, right? So let's try to understand this. Okay? In this case, this line is what? Say this line is what is trying to capture relationship between area and price. So in machine learning, what happens is when you give some data and also an objective, what is the objective here? That try to estimate the price using area. So there are multiple algorithms which what they can do is they can in an automated way will understand that how to predict property price using area. Like in this example, this line is nothing but your machine learning model, and there are algorithms which can be used in order to find this best fit line. Is this clear, everyone? The example that we have discussed, a quick yes or no? Okay, now if we are clear about this, let's try to understand the formal definition of machine learning. I see SK saying, is this linear regression? Yes, SK. Okay. Yeah, so now let's try to understand this definition. Machine learning is an application of artificial intelligence that provides a system the ability to automatically learn and improve from experience. So this automatically is what comes from ML algorithm. Okay, and then experience is nothing but past data without being explicitly programmed. So no more you need to think of all the possible combinations and everything. No, these machine learning algorithms are sufficient enough to formulate relationship between features and the outcome. Okay, so let's summarize. Definition of machine learning is, the simplest definition, machine learning is where we try to enable machines with human level intelligence, right? And the formal definition is that machine learning is an application of artificial intelligence that provides system the ability to automatically learn and improve from experience without being explicitly programmed. Am I clear till this point, guys? A quick yes or no? Okay, cool. So now if we are clear about this, she started with one bucket where we kept data science, machine learning, and AI. So the relationship is, theoretically, data science is the superset, and underneath data science comes artificial intelligence, and then underneath artificial intelligence you have machine learning. Okay, so but then when we talk about practically more or less they are same. Okay, there are certain statistical component of data science not part of AI. Okay, and there are certain heuristic approaches of AI which are not part of machine learning algorithm. But then practically machine learning or AI is 90 or 95% of data science. Okay, now in machine learning, whatever algorithm we have can broadly be classified into three different types: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. And we're going to be discussing all these things. But then let's again quickly recap the definition of data sciences. Given data science is all about extracting actionable insight, information, or knowledge from data in an automated way. AI is where we try to mimic the human intelligence, and machine learning is what? Machine learning is nothing but subset of AI, where we try to enable machines with human level intelligence using some data. Okay. Now, if we are clear about this, there are few things that we need to understand. Say, for example, can you guys tell me what is the reason behind rise of AI or machine learning? Anyone? These days, everywhere you hear about machine learning or AI. My question is, can you guys tell me what is the reason behind rise of AI? Okay. See, uh, usage of data raised, then accuracy due to some unconditions, automation to reduce human effort and time and cost. Okay, to reduce human work, more sources, human efforts reduced, and so on. Okay. See, See, in order to understand rise of AI, there are multiple regions which are actually contributing towards rise of AI. Okay, so today we will try to understand the three important factors which are contributing a lot. See, these days we are living in a world where we are generating huge amount of data. Okay, and actually there is a principle, and that principle is, or we have a term for that, and that term is known as 4V. Okay, where the first V is volume, the second V is velocity, the third V is variety, and the fourth V is veracity. Okay, now meaning of volume is we are living in a world where we are generating huge amount of data. Okay, then comes velocity. We are generating these data points at a very high speed. And variety, We are generating all types of data. As we discussed earlier, there are four different types of data: text, image, audio, and video. Okay. So the infographics that you see on your screen right now, this in itself is sufficient enough to explain the amount of data and the type of data and the speed at which we are generating data. So let me explain what this infographics is. Say this here says that in a single minute amount of data which we are generating on different platforms. So as you can see on Facebook, in a single minute 1 million logins are happening. On WhatsApp, 18.1 million messages are getting exchanged. On YouTube, 4.5 million. And all these data points are what? Basically the amount of data that we're generating in a single minute, right? So 4.5 million videos are getting watched in a single minute. Okay. On Instagram, 3,47,222 images are getting scrolled, or say posts are getting scrolled in a single minute. On Twitter, 87,500 tweets in a single minute. Okay. So basically, if you analyze this, right, this in itself is sufficient enough to tell the amount of data that we are generating. Now, what happens is, as I said, volume is amount, velocity is speed at which we are generating, and variety is all types of data. Like say, for example, on Facebook, mostly we generate what? Text data, image data, and video data. On WhatsApp or say Messenger, these days mostly we generate text data, image data. On WhatsApp, we also generate audio data. On platforms like Netflix or say YouTube or Instagram, mostly it's about video data, right? So we are generating all types of data. Then what happens is, the fourth V here is veracity. Veracity means these data points are full of insights. Okay. These data points are full of insights. So what we need to do is we need a way by which we can extract these actionable insights. Okay. Or these insights. So let me explain this veracity. See, in context of machine learning or AI, veracity means importance. Okay. Or say insights. Now, what I mean by that? Now, every time we go for online shopping, okay, see, when it comes to online shopping, yes, of course, we refer online reviews. Okay. And when it comes to online reviews, say for a product which you are trying to buy, there are 3,000 different reviews. Now, do you guys think it's possible for a single user to read all those 3,000 reviews? Yes or no? No, right? Of course, we cannot expect someone to go through all 3,000 reviews. At the same time, do you think platforms like Amazon or Flipkart, they can deploy a human team which can say go through all the 3,000 reviews, generate the summary of those reviews and share that with the users? No, that is also not possible. Why? Because on platforms like Amazon and Flipkart, you have millions of reviews, okay, millions of products. And say on an average, if you have 100 reviews for all the products, we are talking about billions of reviews, billions or trillions of reviews, right? Now, you cannot have a manual team which can analyze these billions or trillions of reviews. But then these reviews are insightful. Say, for example, if you have a review on, say, Amazon saying that I bought this mobile 6 months back, the battery backup is good, camera is good, touch screen is not that great. Okay. Now, in this single review, the first sentence, I bought this mobile 6 months back. This is not important from a sentiment analysis perspective. The second review, the second sentence is the battery backup is good. So feature here is battery backup and sentiment is positive. Then the third say sentence, camera is good. Okay. So camera is the feature and good is say positive is the sentiment. But then the last sentence, touch screen is not that great, right? So touch screen is what? Feature and the sentiment is negative. So in the single review, user is saying that, okay, for the mobile battery backup and camera the sentiment is positive, but for touch screen it's not that great. So what happens is, as a user, if you're looking for a mobile with good quality battery backup and camera, this mobile can be a good option. But then say if you are looking for a mobile with good quality touch screen, this mobile is not a good option, right? So what happens is, like, this is what we mean by insights, or say these reviews or these data points are full of insights. Okay. So if we combine everything, we are generating huge amount of data. We are generating these data points at a very high speed. And then at the same time, we are generating all types of data, and these data points are full of insights. But then can we process these data points manually? No. And that is where what we need. We need an automated way by which we can do all these things. And that is where machine learning or AI comes into the picture. Is this clear, guys? The one factor behind rise of AI and machine learning? Quick yes or no, everyone? Okay. Yeah, guys, see, whatever we are discussing here, all these videos are going to be available on YouTube. So if you miss certain points, don't worry about it. You can very well say go and watch the videos. Okay. Guys, once again, please turn off your videos. Yeah. So now the second. Aki Lerni, can you please turn off your video? Okay, yeah, great. Okay. Now the second factor is, see, uh, let's try to understand rise of, say, AI from a storage perspective. Okay. See, the moment we are talking about this huge amount of data, what we need, we also need an effective way by which we can store these data points, right? Now, if you try to compare the kind of system that we have today with what we had, say, around 20 years back, say, for example, 20 years back, most of the systems, they were equipped with what, 128 MB RAM or 256 MB RAM, and max to max 70 GB hard disk or 80 GB hard disk. But then if you try to compare that with the system that we have these days, most of the laptops are actually, forget about laptops, even these mobiles are now equipped with 6 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM, right? And then you have mobiles with 128 GB hard disk, 250 GB hard disk. When we talk about laptops, you have 1 TB and 2 TB hard disk, right? Because we have, and see, all these things are available easily. No more you need to pay, say, a big amount of money for all these things. Similarly, when it comes to storing all these data points at a very high scale, at an, say, and from an industrial perspective, right? Then we have big data technologies like Hadoop and many other platforms. Then you have cloud infrastructure where you can buy simply an instance of AWS server or Microsoft Azure. Okay. So when we need to store these data points at, say, scale, you don't need to worry about infrastructure. Why? Because these storage systems are now efficiently available. And again, we don't need to pay too much amount for all these things. Okay, so that's the second reason. Third is, so, okay, it's fine if we are generating huge amount of data and we have efficient way of storing this, but then still what we need to do, we need to process these data points at scale, right? And that is where we'll have to understand the rise that we have around infrastructure that is used for processing these data points. If you see RAM, most of the mobiles are now equipped with 4 GB or 6 GB RAM, and laptops are now 8 GB. Now you have CPU, GPUs with 7 cores, 9 cores, right? And at the same time on cloud, what you can do is you can simply buy an instance on requirement. Say if you have a problem statement where what you need is say 2 TB hard disk with 32 GB RAM and something like 6 GB GPUs. You don't need to buy a completely brand new say laptop or say hard disk with all these features. No, what you can do is you can simply go ahead, instance, or say buy a new instance on any of these cloud infrastructures like Microsoft Azure or AWS or say any other local service provider. You upload your program over there, use it, okay, and the moment you are done with it, you can simply like once you are done with your activities or program, download your model, download your process data, and you can simply terminate that instance, and you need to pay for only the amount for which you have used that particular infrastructure. Okay. So we don't need to also think about processing. Why? Because now we have access to efficient RAMs, efficient GPUs, efficient CPUs, and at the same time efficient hard disk. Okay, so if we combine all these things are contributing a lot towards rise of AI. Okay. Okay, so if I'm clear till this point, guys, let's do one thing. It's 5:57. Let me know if you have any questions till now. Okay, so if we are clear till this point, let's take a 5-minute break, and after that, we will start our discussion on the uh, other topics. Okay, cool. So we'll take a 5-minute break. It's 6 o'clock. We'll resume at 6:05. Guys, am I audible? Okay. So till now we have covered what are the say what is machine learning, what is data science, what's AI, then what's the relationship, then what's the reason behind rise of AI. There are few more things let's try to understand before we go ahead in details of all these things, right? So for example, uh, can you guys tell me what are the different AI applications that you see around us in our day-to-day life? My question is simple, the different applications which you use in your daily life and you think are powered by AI. Whether Alexa, Gmail, fingerprint sensors, okay, Google Assistant, microwave oven, Amazon Alexa, Siri, Google Voice, Alexa, YouTube, Netflix recommendation, Siri, Lift, Alexa, mhm, washing machine, Siri. Okay, okay, okay. See, when it comes to understanding impact of AI, these days you would have heard a lot that okay, there are so many jobs which are available for AI professionals. Okay, then AI is here to change the world. And then at the same time, you would have seen multiple blogs or videos talking about hey, whether this rise of AI is real or hype, right? So again, see, all these things are debatable, but then still, I think we have strong reasons to believe that AI is actually important and it's gonna change the world. Let me explain that using an example. Okay. See, whatever innovation is happening around us, we can broadly classify them into two parts: horizontal innovation and vertical innovation. Okay. Now, what happens is, let me explain what this horizontal and vertical innovation is. We are living in a world where you have multiple sectors. Okay. Say, for example, you have healthcare, then we have retail, then we have education, then we have entertainment, and so on, right? Now, if there is an innovation which is going to impact only one sector, that's known as vertical innovation. Say, for example, if tomorrow a group of researchers they claim that say they have found a cure for cancer, right? Now that is something which is going to impact healthcare sector, right? And so that is what an example of vertical innovation. But then what is horizontal innovation? An innovation which is going to impact almost all the sectors. Okay. So what happens is, say, can you guys give me an example of horizontal innovation? Guys, example of horizontal innovation. Okay, AI is of course, as I said, we are going to discuss that. Other than that, see, internet is one of the best example of horizontal innovation. Okay, why? Because if you see, internet changed the world we are living in. Even IoT, yes, of course, I agree. Cryptocurrency still debatable, but then yeah, there are strong reasons to we have strong reasons to believe that crypto is gonna be one of the say like one of the factor or one of the technology, especially blockchain, which is gonna inspire almost all the segments, right? Like, but then let's talk about internet because that is one of the simplest and the best example of horizontal innovation. Like name a sector and internet changed everything. Okay, the way we are connected, we talk about this digital world, digital economy. Okay, so what happens is, what happened after internet? Almost all the organizations, we as a human being or say as a person, we also started migrating towards digital economy. And that is where what happened, people started using a lot of computers and suddenly we saw an increase in number of jobs for software engineers. Okay, Similarly, when it comes to AI is an horizontal innovation. Now, let me explain this using an example. Say if we talk about companies like Ola and Uber, they are from travel domain. Do they have an AI team? Yes, of course. Let's talk about companies like Zomato, Swiggy. They are from food tech. Do they have an AI team? Yes, of course. Say if we talk about companies like Google, Facebook, YouTube, okay, or say Instagram, do they have an AI team? Yes, of course, they are from social media domain. If we talk about companies like Netflix, Amazon Prime, or say GTV, all these are what? They are from entertainment or say OTT platforms. Do they have an AI team? Yes, of course. So what happens is no matter which domain you talk, okay, or which domain we discuss, we can find the application of AI over there, okay. And on top of all these things, say that is like we know that AI is horizontal. Why? Because we have so many examples where people or say industry, they are using AI. At the same time, as we discussed in the beginning, there are four types of data: text, image, audio, and video. And AI is something which can very well be applied on all types of data. There is no restriction at all. Say for example, uh, we have language translators. That is what? An application of AI where you are dealing with text data. Say if we talk about video surveillance or object detection, this is an example where AI is getting applied on say image or video data. Then if we talk about Alexa, Amazon Alexa or Google Siri, this is an example where AI is getting applied on audio data, right? Similarly, chatbots. And these days, if you use WhatsApp or say Gmail, the moment you try to frame an email, you get auto recommendations. So all these things are what example where we are dealing with say text data. Okay, so this is again one of the biggest factor behind rise of AI, popularity of AI, and that is the reason you have so many jobs which are available for AI professionals. Okay, yeah. So text, unstructured, unstructured data, multi-language noise channels, okay? And here what you see is different examples where AI is interacting with, or say, where we are dealing with text data. Sentiment analysis. What is this? Given any review, we need to classify it into positive, negative, or neutral. Then say information retrieval means if you are given a lot of text, you need to extract important information from that. Similarly, translations, if you have text in English, translate that into say some other language like Hindi, Kannada, Tamil, or Telugu. Then question answering system. Then when it comes to image, classification means given any image, we need to classify whether it's say uh, say car image or truck image or say cat or dog. This is what we mean by classification. Image captioning means given any image, we need to simply tag that image, okay, with the descriptions. Then object detection means given any image, we need to uh, localize where exactly a particular object is present in the image. All these are examples where we are dealing with image data. Audio, emotion mining, conversation, voice control. This is like your Amazon Alexa or Google Homes or Apple Siri, real-time translation. But then again, this translation is different from this translation, okay, that we have in the text part. This is a translation where you deal with text data. So like many a time you would have seen on Facebook that people type in Kannada and you get an English text for it. Okay, so that is what translation dealing with text data. And this is like there are multiple organizations in the world. What they do is they have a voice recorder. So what happens is they can do a translation in real time. Then surveillance, object detection, video summarization, AR, content classification. Okay, all these are examples where we are dealing with AR is augmented reality, where we are dealing with video data. Okay. Okay. Now, as I said, data is at the core. So based on how data is organized, we can classify any data into two types: structured data and unstructured data. Okay. So based on organization. and how a data is organized. Structured, unstructured data. Okay. So let's try to understand what we mean by structured data. Am I audible, guys? Am I audible, guys? Okay. So what is structured data? Structured data is where schema or format is fixed. Okay. Say for example, if we try to analyze, one sec. If we try to analyze student info, or say student database of a university, of an university, okay? Now, I see many of you are requesting to make this session for 1 hour. Okay, guys, that is not something in my control. We'll have to discuss this with management. But then, yeah, let's bear with me for a few more minutes. Okay, like let this be the last topic, and then we will start the Q&A session. Okay. Yeah. So student database of an university. So what are the different information a university will store when it comes to its student? Student name, then say roll number, then of course you have his or her age, then say sex, then maybe father's name, and mother's name, right? Now, so if we try to analyze this database, here the format is fixed. That name is always going to be stored in text form. Roll number is always going to be stored in, say, alphanumeric. Age is always going to be stored in numerical form. Gender is always going to be stored in text form. Parents name also in text form, and mother's name also in text form. Okay. So what happens is, if we try to analyze this data set, this is what an example of structured data. Why? Because here schema is fixed. Okay. Is this clear, everyone? What is a structured data? Quick yes or no? Okay. Similarly, when we talk about unstructured data, what is unstructured data? Where schema or format of data is not fixed. Schema is not fixed. Okay. So let's try to understand this using an example. Say if we talk about Facebook comments, right? Now, do we have a language restriction on Facebook comments? No, you can write your comments on in any language. Similarly, do we have a length constraint? Do we have whether say some data type constraint, like you can in comment you can't say use image or video or text? No, we can use whatever we want, right? Similarly, we can have our own way of communicating. There is no grammatical structure. We can have your own, say, emojis. You can include whatever you want in a Facebook comment, right? So that is what an example of unstructured data. So based on organization, what happens is whatever data we have around us, we can broadly classify them into two types: structured and unstructured data. Structured data is where, say, schema is well defined or the format of data is well defined. But then when we talk about unstructured data, this is what, again, where schema is not fixed. In AI, most of the time we are going to be dealing with unstructured data. Now, there are multiple challenges associated with unstructured data. Okay, the biggest challenge with unstructured data is that most of the time unstructured data points are going to be full of noise. Okay, so for example, like let me give you an example of what exactly I mean by noise. One sec. Outliers. So this is what we mean by outliers is, yes, I see Burji Saik saying unwanted data. Like unwanted data is of course one type of noise, but then there are other types of noises also. Outliers means there are few records which are not aligning with majority. Say for example, if you are trying to analyze performance of Anil Kumble in cricket, yes, of course we know that Anil Kumble has scored centuries, say once or twice, right? So now what happens is, do you really think that that particular 100 reflects his or her capability, say Anil Kumble's capability as a cricketer or say as a batsman? No, right? So that is what an outlier. So outlier is nothing but, say, data points which are not aligning with majority. Okay. Similarly, what if you have a data set where, say, multiple values are missing? Say for example, you downloaded all the reviews, but then say recent 100 reviews got say deleted due to some manual error, or say your crawler failed and your database is without the recent 100 reviews. So that is what we mean by missing values. Similarly, what if you have duplicate data? Imagine a scenario where someone tells you that, okay, you need to start a modeling process where you have 2000 records. You started modeling and later you realize that, okay, 50% of the records are duplicate. Now you cannot perform analysis on that, right? So all these things are what? Different types of noises which we can encounter when dealing with unstructured data. And in this course, we are going to be discussing multiple ways by which what we can do is we can clean all these things. Okay. So cool. So let's wrap up today's session with this. Let me summarize everything. We started our discussion with definition of data science. So data science is what? It's all about extracting actionable insight, information from data, okay, in an automated way. Then artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is where we try to mimic human intelligence, and machine learning is collection of all the algorithms which can be used in order to enable machines with human level intelligence. Okay. And practically, more or less, they are same. But then theoretically, data science is a superset. Then comes AI, and then comes machine learning. Now, whatever algorithms we have in machine learning world, that can broadly be classified into three different types, and that is, say, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Okay. Then what happens is, there are four types of data that we have discussed. That is text, image, audio, and video. Then at the same time, we discuss the different factors which are contributing towards rise of AI. Say, for example, we discussed 4V, where volume, velocity, variety, and veracity. Then we also discussed the development that we have around the infrastructure, the storage space, the processing powers. Okay? Then last but not the least, structured and unstructured data. This is very important. Okay. When we talk about structured and unstructured data, this is like structured data where we have fixed schema, and unstructured data is where we have, say, schema is not fixed. Okay. And as I said, mostly in AI, we are going to be dealing with unstructured data. Okay. So guys, feel free to ask whatever questions you have. As this is our first session, you can ask whatever questions you have. I have like few persons from the management side also, so yeah, we'll try our best to answer all of your questions. Okay. Okay, and I'll request all of you, as you know that we have many participants, okay, close to, I think, 500 participants. So I request all of you to ask your question one by one so that I can keep track of all the questions. Okay. Uh, Provide the YouTube link. Uh, Shruti or Anvesh or Vineet, can you please answer that query where participants are asking about the YouTube link? Once again, guys, please ask your question one by one. I have already say 15 or 20 different questions, so let me answer all the questions. So please share syllabus that we are going to be covering in this whole series. Okay, so guys, very soon we are going to be sharing the complete agenda for this course. Okay, kindly provide notes. We can refer notes. I'm not sure what exactly you mean by notes. Okay. Please share syllabus that, okay, that I've already answered. Explain about outliers. Vamsi, as of now, let's keep it simple. Outliers are the data points which are not aligning with majority data points in your data set. Okay. So that's what we mean by outliers. So what happens is in a machine learning modeling process, we try to remove the outliers. Okay. Because there is no point in, say, training a machine with data points which are not true reflection of how things are happening in reality. Okay. What are the differences between outliers and noise data? Okay, noise is you can consider as a say umbrella, and there are different types of noises. Outlier is one such noise. Okay. Could you please send the PPT? I'm not the right person to answer this. Please say coordinate with the course coordinator and he or she will let you know whether these PPTs can be shared with you guys or not. Can we get certificate? Again, management is the right person to answer this question. What is AI planning? Okay, we can have multiple meanings of this, but then many a time what happens is there are different stages through which any AI project will go through, and that is what is the agenda for tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, we will discuss about this also tomorrow, so stay tuned. Yeah, guys, tomorrow's agenda is we discuss about the different stages through which any AI project will go through, and then at the same time we will try to understand what do we mean by supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Okay. Then what if outlier is the property of data? It can't happen, Santosh, right? Because the way we define outlier is what? Not aligning with majority. Okay. So outlier is always going to be in minority. Unstructured data explained. See, unstructured data is where there is, say, if we talk about a data set where there is no fixed schema. Say, for example, if we talk about product details, okay, on Amazon, that is what an example of unstructured data. Why? Because a product can have title, it can have image, or it cannot have image, right? It can have a description, it can have a tabular structure. In description, you can have multiple other details like, say, sometime explaining the product using image, sometime explaining product using video, and so on, right? So every time we talk about a data set where a schema or the format is not defined, well defined, that is what we mean by unstructured data. Okay. Syllabus covered, please. As I said, very soon we are going to be sharing the entire agenda for this course. Okay. Yaswant is saying, is there a way where you can provide the YouTube link. Guys, you don't need to worry about the recordings because all these videos are available on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, and I see Mukesh has already shared the YouTube link. How many sessions left? This entire course is going to be for close to say 80 to 90 hours is what I'm aware of. Okay. So yeah, accordingly you can calculate. Good evening, sir. Present I'm learning Linux. Is it right time to learn AI? Bharat, see, anyway, this course is where we discuss basics of programming and basics of mathematics. So yeah, you can parallelly audit this course. Scope of DS job for freshers with no experience. No issues, Lavanya, as long as you acquire all these things very well. There are so many jobs which are available for freshers. How can we get recorded session? All these videos are available on YouTube. Which tools we will use this course and where to practice? Don't worry, guys. Maybe tomorrow or in the next session, I'm going to talk about the different tools which we are going to be using in this course. Okay, I'll talk about the different libraries, then at the same time different platforms and the IDEs which we are going to be using. Okay. In terms of few tools, see, Anaconda, we are going to be using Python, then we are going to be using TensorFlow, Keras, Scikit-learn, Pandas, and many other tools. Will there be practical sessions also? Yes, of course. I'm going to be discussing multiple codes in this course. I use stay tuned. Tomorrow we are going to be discussing about supervised and unsupervised learning. Uh, I want to learn how to make voice cloning app. Will I be able to develop such app using this course? We are going to be discussing multiple components which can be used. We are not going to be discussing, say, a direct example or an application where we deal with audio data. But then, yeah, when it comes to the machine learning algorithms which are important there, yes, of course, they're like we discuss multiple algorithms here which are important for audio data processing. Okay. What about attendance? Mukesh, can you please answer this question? Okay, guys, whatever questions you have related to certificate and say attendance and the PDFs, I'll ask course coordinator to answer those questions. Okay. If not today, maybe tomorrow. Which programming language we are going to be using for this course? Python. Okay, veracity means insight or say like the information which is present in the data. If data is random, just one, don't worry, there are techniques which can be used in order to identify the outliers. It's not that difficult. Okay. Do these missing values impact the model's accuracy? Yes, of course, it does. So what was the difference between AI and ML? As I said, ML is what subset of AI, but actually 90 to 95% of AI is ML. So there are certain heuristics which are part of AI, but they're not considered as part of ML. Why? Because in machine learning, we only talk about the algorithms which can be used to enable machines with human level intelligence using some data. Okay. Okay, guys, we have many questions close to 200, so I'm gonna scroll. Mm, okay, again, all the doubts related to certificate, say the codes, the data set, and the PPTs. Maybe I'll ask someone from the management to join tomorrow and answer these questions. Okay. Can we expect in-depth understanding of AI or just overview of classes? No, there are many algorithms which we are going to discuss in detail. Having said that, we're not going to be discussing everything, but then yeah, whatever is important, most of those algorithms we are going to discussing in detail in this class. Okay. Do we use Jupyter Notebook or Google Colab or PyCharm? We are going to be using Jupyter Notebook, and Google Colab is nothing but say a different application on top of Jupyter. Okay, they are very similar. That's not going to be a different. Okay, guys, I see Mr. Mukesh has shared the attendance link. Please go through that. Okay. And I'll request all of you to kindly mark your attendance over there. Which environment we use, Jupyter, Colab, or PyCharm? We are going to be using Jupyter, but then in some cases, you guys are also say free to use Colab if you want. Multiple machine learning algorithms, and of course, the deep learning algorithm, which is very important for AI. Tomorrow also same timing, yeah. Max to max, like 5:10 to 7. Okay. Basics of Python is sufficient to work on AI. We start with basics of Python, but then whatever modules we are going to be discussing in this course, I will discuss, say, Python related to that particular topic also. Okay. Is there any mini project? Again, I'll have to check with the management. Okay. So guys, I have taken notes of few questions which ideally management should answer. Like as I said, mini project, your PDFs, then say the certificate. Okay, so point noted. Which is better, Python or R for ML? When it comes to AI or machine learning, of course, Python is the best language. Yes, I have worked with multiple companies. Like mostly, I have worked in retail domain, healthcare domain, entertainment. Okay, the other domains where I have applied these AI on, say, real life use cases. Textbooks for AI, stay tuned. Maybe later I'll say a few books which you guys can refer when it comes to AI. When it comes to getting a job in AI, guys, again, as I said, what matters is how will you acquire these things, and yeah, that's gonna be sufficient enough. Like that is what is the most important factor in terms of jobs. Yes, of course, there are many jobs which are available. Anything else, guys? Any questions? Is there any prerequisite? See, it's good if you have some programming experience. Even if say you are someone without any programming experience, it's fine, because we are going to be discussing the basics of Python. And yeah, as I said, the most important thing here is how well, like the dedication is what is really important. Okay. Like stay and follow whatever we discuss here, that is, and practice that. That is, I think that should be sufficient. Yeah, this program is on weekdays and overall duration is say 80 to 90 hours. No, mostly these sessions are going to be for 2 hours. Cool. Thanks. Thanks. Thank you. So you're giving a great stuff. That's really great to hear. We have just started. Okay. No, no classes on weekends. No. Yes, we have already shared the link which can be used in order to mark your attendance. Please make sure that you mark your attendance. On weekdays, yes, 5 to 7. Tomorrow we might have delay for 10 minutes, but then yeah, usually it's going to be 5 to 7. Great session. It's a great session. Okay, thanks, Gayatri. Guys, once again, I will request all of you to mark your attendance before I close this session. I see Mr. Mukesh, he has shared the attendance link multiple times, so please mark your attendance.